interesting. The first one is, can you, or will it be so that the changes, whilst the passage, let's say, changes in tide and wave, which are not exactly that one that are predicted, are updated while the passage takes place, so that you have updated data. And the second one is, well, the liability and responsibility for the data is, from my opinion, clear enough, but the liability and responsibility for the system, which would be with the system provider, how would you judge that? And the third one is easy, if it is allowed to talk about it. How many dollars did this system cost, or how many euros? So, thank you.
Thank you for your question, Henrik. Questions? Do the easy one first. The dollars and the euros. Obviously, this is a commercial and confidence issue, and sorry I can't share that information with you. On to question one, you ask about the passage and tidal stream information. The system will continually receive tidal height, tidal stream information from the AMSA sensors, and the underkeel system will constantly update the active transit plan. When a pilot wants to generate a new plan, he can do so from the system. Alternatively, the system will flag when certain changes are there in the underkeel, etc., and will prompt the pilot that things have changed. So it is possible to do both. So the system will accept near real-time net ocean information and keep the transit plan up to date. On to your third question about liability. Essentially, the system provider will, while the liability issue still has to be sorted out, the service provider is generally responsible for their part of the calculations, and the provision of the sensor data is an AMSA responsibility, and the provision of hydrographic data is an Australian Hydrographic Service responsibility. But yes, all of this has to be formalized and put in place. We're only just taking the first steps in the implementation. So yes, this will all be addressed and will be agreed around all players. Is that help? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, my question is for Malcolm. We are starting this year the use of the, I imagine, from satellite in order to identify new obstacle and new danger around the coast and the Spanish coast. But we are using the Spot5 satellite. It's different. And also, I try to make some experiment with the. The name for us is LIDAR, bathymetric. I don't know if the same that the SAR that you are explaining. The intention is to make a bathymetric in big areas, but the accuracy is not so big. It is our experience now.
Yeah, I think the system works in two methods. I think you might have a bit more success in your waters, but the SAR measurement is the roughness of the sea, and you can infer the depth from the particular wave pattern, and that's backed up with the optical measurement to give you the depth. So I wish you luck with that, man. Yeah.
A question for Mahesh. Kieran Higgins is my name from Irish Lights. When you decided that you could allow users to forward plan transits up to a year in advance, did you anticipate that you might get a concentration of maximised ships at maximum draft, all arriving at the same location on the same day looking for transit?
Thanks, Kiran. Thanks, Kiran, for that excellent question. And yes, that is an issue, particularly if and when, and I'm not suggesting that we're going to change the draft regime or increase the maximum draft limit, but if that was the case, then yes, everybody would be aiming for that narrow tidal window. The look ahead is basically to come up with a choice of drafts and dates. It's a rough course calculation on when you can get there. But yes, you're absolutely right. If we do have a deeper draft regime, then everyone would be angling for that. So there would be some element of organization of traffic that would be required.
Thank you. A question to Mahesh. Handling a system of the Danish Straits. Do your system incorporate the possible squat effect in from the ship? The squat from the ship. Thank you.
Thanks for your question, Jorgen. One of the main calculations that the system will do will compute squat. To date, there's been lots of estimates and formulas, etc. But one of the main outputs of the system will be working through with the speed through the water, will work out a quantum of squat. And we will validate this as an independent third-party validation.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Following on from that, is there a feedback from the ship's echo sounder into the system?
The short answer is no. There is no provision in the system to accept information from the ship's echo sounder. What we're proposing to do is do some measurements in the field using RTK, and that will help validate the output from the system that